I'm back again, man. You know what I'm saying? If you guys know, our regular streams are on Tuesdays. I'm sorry, on Mondays. We picked up Mondays. When we first started the live stream, it was just Tuesdays and Thursdays. But we done picked up Monday stream 3 times a week. So we do Mondays, we do Tuesdays, and then we do Thursdays. You know what I'm saying? Man, I hopped on a stream and I did like 3 hours on Wednesdays. And I really never stream on Wednesdays, you know what I'm saying? And then I hopped on a stream and I did like today, Friday, I never stream on Fridays. So I'm finna do however many hours today. And then tomorrow is something special. Okay. So tomorrow, Jasmine for Texas, that's episode number 5, man. You know what I'm saying? I've been rocking with Jasmine, man. What's up, my boy Donnie? Donnie already in the stream, man. My boy. Good morning. Good morning. Who is that down there? Is that Batty? Good morning. Arav, good morning. As you guys come into the stream, I ask that y'all double tap the video for me. Like the video. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so y'all can get down there every time we go live. Man, yeah, as I was saying, man, so tomorrow we got the 5th episode of Jasmine for Texas, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited about this one because tomorrow night is the first debate in that Democratic primary with Jasmine, Texas, and James Talerico. Now, I'm freestyling the stream. You know what I'm saying, Donnie? So I'm going to be really interactive with you, my boy, sharing your thoughts or whatever you guys put down in the chat. So, you know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all jump down in the chat today. You know what I'm saying? I don't have no kind of prepared content. I'm going to save the strategy for tomorrow. This is what I'm saying. I'm saying that new poll, if you guys know that new Emerson poll, Donnie, that came out between Jasmine and James Talerico, it showed that James Talerico had a 9-point lead over Jasmine. Now, a month earlier, Texas Southern had a poll out, you know what I'm saying, and it showed Jasmine up by 8 points. And there was a poll out the previous month, too, that showed Jasmine up. I forget the name of that poll. So 2 polls came out that showed Jasmine had a sizable lead in the race. And then just a couple weeks ago, well, I think it was the 15th, Emerson College came out with a poll that showed James Talerico up by 9 points. Now, I want to start off by talking about that Emerson College poll that showed James Talerico up by 9. Donnie, this is what's peculiar. And I'm finna read your comment, my brother. But out of that poll, I think it was like 25. Look, I'm going to say less than 40% of Democrats were polled in a poll with 2 Democratic candidates in a Democratic primary. There were more independents and Republicans polled in that poll. And Donnie, I just want to ask you guys, why do you think Emerson College would do that? Would you conduct a poll like that? Would you conduct a poll where you're going to, in a Democratic primary, mind you, where you're going to ask more Republicans and independents, and you know when you're talking to them, they're Republican and independent, you're going to ask more Republicans and independents who they voting for Senate. And this is a Democratic primary. Donnie, can you explain to me why they doing something like that? You said Republicans are with you. We want Jasmine to win the primary against Talerico. I don't believe that's so, though, Donnie. It might be so, but I don't think it's so. And this is what I want to ask you, Donnie. I'm going to pin your comment. Why do you think that? So you guys think that Jasmine might be a train wreck? Is that what you Republicans think? That's an open question, Donnie. Anybody in the stream? Donnie says, and Donnie, my boy, now I'm not picking on him. He said Republicans are with you. They want Jasmine to win over Talerico. Number one, I don't see how that's true, Donnie. And the reason why I don't see how that's true is because, like I said, that Emerson poll, Emerson College, they ran a poll and they asked more Republicans and independents in the poll who they want to win. And them people are voting for Talerico. The Republicans and independents, they asking in the poll are voting against Jasmine. Amongst Democrats, she crushing them. She's smashing them. But Donnie says, though, that the Republicans want Jasmine to win. And the only reason I could assume that Donnie is saying that, because he's saying that he thinks Jasmine's a train wreck. You know, Jasmine will make a comment about ICE being slave patrols. And that sounds like that's not politically correct. Even though I know what she's doing, she's firing up the base. That's completely necessary. When you got 5 million black voters who don't vote, even 20% of them black voters who didn't vote in Texas. Texas got the largest contingency, of black voters in the United States. Okay? Eligible black voters. Okay, Donnie? If you get 20% of them to vote who's not voting, she's going to win the entire thing. That's my thing, number one. But Donnie said Republicans want Jasmine to win because they feel like she's a train wreck because she makes comments like ICE slave patrol. Isn't that right, Donnie? Am I not correct? Let me tell you this then. What about President Trump, Donnie? What about President Trump? What about Big President T, Donnie? That's my question. The Democrats in 2016, they wanted Big President T to win. You know why? We thought he was a train wreck. Bro, we were laughing at this dude. We're going to build a wall and make Mexico pay for it. The Mexican president said this dude is completely insane. And then President Trump, after that, he went further, bro. When he get on something, he stay on something. So he on this wall thing. And he going around. Y'all remember 2016? Donnie, he going around campaigning about I'm building the wall and Mexico going to pay for it, sounding crazy. And then he won an election. Wait. Train wreck at the mouth. We talking 2016. Let's fast forward. Let's fast forward to today. Let's fast forward to pre-elect 2024 when he running against Kamala. Y'all remember when he said, they're eating the cats and the dogs? Y'all seen Kamala's face, her expression? I wish I could play it for y'all. She was like, what? Unbelievable. So if you telling me that you think that a candidate is not a good candidate in 2026 because they say what you consider outlandish things, I don't think the voters are looking at it like that, Donnie. We always got to look at it from the eye of the voters. That's why President Trump has always overperformed the polls, because we looking at it from the eyes of the legacy media. What does Fox think's going to happen? If you look at it, though, Gallup has been pretty accurate in predicting President Trump in those polls and what's going to really happen. You see what I'm saying? But most polls haven't, because we hear that outlandish stuff. I'm going to take over Greenland by military force. Donnie, you know, you be rocking with me every single day, every single minute. So you know I told you, and you heard me say before President Trump even said that, that's malarkey. Like Representative Bacon said, that's utter buffoonery. But he says outlandish things all the time, and the American people turn away, look away for various reasons. But he won 2 elections. He'll say he won 3 elections. So if you Republicans want Jasmine to win because you're saying she saying outlandish things, I don't think that's going to help you. Jasmine is extremely popular with the Democratic Party. And as Donnie says, she's popular with the Republican Party, too. So I would tend to disagree with that. But my question to you guys, Donnie, is if Republicans, y'all want Jasmine to win against Talerico, like you more scared of Talerico, my question to you is why did Emerson College, in a Democratic primary poll, you know there's going to be a bunch of Republicans and independents that's going to show up because they terrified of Jasmine, and I'm about to tell you why. But I'm saying, why in a Democratic primary poll between 2 Democratic candidates, you will have Emerson College poll more independents and Republicans than they do Democrats? Because amongst Democrats, who will be the majority of the voters in that March 3rd primary, she is beating him handily. But they want to run polls asking Republicans and independents who they want. Like this is their candidate. Listen, hey, this is a public service announcement. I need everybody to pay attention. If the DNC listening, I think Hakeem Jeffries, the Speaker of the House, he endorsed Jasmine Crockett. If we have any interest, AOC, Bernie Sanders, we need everybody to endorse Jasmine Crockett, because I'm going to tell you one thing for certain and two things for sure. Donnie, I hear what you're saying, my brother, and y'all Republicans saying y'all want her to win. But I'm saying you got Emerson College, these polls. Why are they asking more Republicans and independents? But look, I'm not going to stay hard on you, Emerson College. I'm going to say thank you. Because forget what the politicians are saying. We see that the Republican electric, they fear Jasmine because they want Talerico to win. So AOC, Bernie Sanders, DNC establishment, it is being, the Republican voters are scared of Jasmine in Texas and they want Talerico to win. Let's get behind her. It's a reason why they want her to win. She has strong support amongst the Democratic Party, though, Donnie. That's what I'm saying. Any poll amongst Democrats, she is beating him handily. And they're going to run a poll where they're only asking 30% of Democrats in the Democrat primary. A third of the people they poll were Democrats. They know that if they telling us that they're Republicans or independents, they know they polling more Republicans and independents. And then they going to take a real small sample size of a state like Texas with 30 million voters, you asking 400 and some people. It's like they trying to rig the poll for Mr. Talerico. I'm saying y'all should fear Jasmine. And bigger than the state of Texas. Your boy Big Ghostwriter might have stayed in Texas 2 years, but I'm in NYC. I'm not the only person around here in NYC who know Jasmine Crockett on a pretty large scale. All across the country, that name recognition. She's, bro, and the next topic we're going to get into, we're going to talk about her being a black star. Because that's important. Yes, it's important. We could talk race this morning, y'all. We didn't have no scheduled live stream. But I'm saying there's no way you're going to tell me we can't talk about race when every single Senate candidate, the last 30 years, the Democrats been losing. Listen to me. The last 30 years, the Democrats been losing. They've been putting forth a candidate like Talerico. Tell me how I'm not speaking facts. You say Beto O'Rourke. What's the big difference between him and Talerico? They ideals. Beto, young, good looking. He older than Talerico. Talerico, 39. He little junior Beto. Colin Arwood was a little bit different. You see what I'm saying? But most of the candidates, they about the same as Talerico. I don't see no difference really between Talerico and any Democrat, any candidate the Democrats have put forward over the last 30 years they've been losing. That's number one. Number two, there's a huge swath of eligible black voters in Texas. And I don't care if y'all don't want to talk about identity politics. I'm not a racist. I'm not talking about identity politics. I'm talking straight strategy. Let's get to it. Straight strategy. You got 5 million black voters, eligible black voters who didn't vote. What? Listen, if we want to go back to 2018 and we want to look at Beto, you see what I'm saying, when he ran against Ted Cruz, I'm saying they had about 10 million people that voted, 10, 11 million people. So if you get 1 more million voters to come out and vote, and Jasmine being a black female, that's what's different. That's why I said change, because she represents change. Being a black female, I don't care if you guys don't want to acknowledge. How can you not acknowledge, if you look at a picture of her and look at the last senators who and the Democrats who ran too for the last 30 years in Texas, she don't look nothing like them. So how can you say she don't represent change? That's ludicrous. She represents change, bro. She's different. And so you say Jasmine, and she's a black female. She's extremely popular, and she's beloved amongst the black community. I'm saying you got 5 million black voters eligible black vote, if you reach 1 million, if you turn out 20% of them in the state of Texas, Donnie, that means if looking at 10 million, 11 million people voting, she's a clear winner. Not only in a Democratic primary, in a general election, she is a clear winner. And you looking at a candidate like Talerico, who is not talking to the black voters, who's not reaching the black voters, and without them black voters, he cannot win. Listen to me. He's doing pretty good with the Hispanic voters, and Jasmine got some grounds to make up, Donnie, with Hispanic voters. But without those black voters in the state of Texas, Talerico cannot win that race. That's point blank, period. He needs the support of the black voters any Democrat does in the state of Texas. So I'm saying, if you look at the chessboard, there's no way in the world y'all can't tell me not only Jasmine is the best candidate, she gives them the best chance to win, and Talerico ain't got no kind of lead amongst the Democratic constituency in Texas. In my opinion, all she got to do is fire up the Democratic base, and not Talerico, you in trouble, and the Republicans in trouble too. I'm saying, to me, y'all didn't do the math. To me, y'all ain't looking at the chessboard. Where Karl Rove at? Match up with me. Because I'm saying, Donnie, tell me where I'm wrong. If you got 5 million eligible black voters who did not vote, who are not voting, and you getting about 10 million voters to vote, and she polling neck and neck with the Republican, maybe 5 points, 10. You talking about low propensity voters. If she gets 20% of those voters, 1 million of them, you know those voters go vote. I'm talking about overwhelmingly, 95% better, they're voting for her. If she gets 1 million of those voters who ain't voting, if she can get them to the polls, strategy session, how could she lose? So I'm saying, I don't see how anyone is supporting James Talerico in this race. I don't see how anyone is. Because Jasmine, realistically speaking, he cannot beat her. And he cannot beat the Republicans. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Those black voters that we trying to get to go out and vote, to get and turn out and vote, if Talerico win, they're not going to be enthusiastic about him. That's what I'm trying to say. Donnie, you feeling that? If Talerico win, they're not going to be enthusiastic about him. But amongst the black community, if Jasmine wins, she gives the Democrats the best chance to get 5 million plus of black voters to get as many of those as she can to get to the polls. And she'll swing those odds and those numbers in the Democrats' favor. If you guys have not liked the video, I ask that y'all double tap the screen for me. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. Proud Patriot said Trump is more popular now than ever. Well, I mean, I don't know about where you getting that information from, where you getting those numbers from. That's not what the polling says. His approval rating is, I'm saying, you saying more popular than this point in his second term? You know? I don't know where you're getting that polling and them numbers from. He's more popular amongst the Republican Party probably than ever, amongst MAGA, but amongst the American people in general, I have to disagree with that. Donnie said, I gave my answer above, Ghost, if you want to see. Donnie, let me scroll up and get to it, my boy. Give me just a second, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Donnie says, let's see. Smashly, good morning, baby. Good morning. Donnie says, please read the reasoning. He said, Jasmine is a harder contrast to the Republican candidates. When Republicans and Democrats are similar candidates, no, Democrats, Donnie, maybe so nationally. When the Republicans and the Democrats have similar candidates, maybe the Democrats win nationally. But it's been 30 years in Texas, statewide elections. Let's just talk about the Senate races, no governor races, just Senate races, Donnie. Do the research. 30 years, statewide Senate races in Texas. Ain't the Democrats, have they put up a black candidate once? Twice? Besides Colin Allred? I'm saying they ain't never put up no black female. But I'm saying the majority, 90% of the candidates they put up are similar to the Republicans. I'm saying Ted Cruz and Beto O'Rourke, they both Hispanic males. That's the first thing. The constituents, I don't care if y'all saying identity politics, whatever you want to say. I'm saying black people are going to pay more attention to black candidates. And that's facts. You can live in a fantasy world where you think every race is the same and all races are equal and go around held in hands singing Kumbaya, my black brothers or my white brothers. That's not facts. What facts is a black person is going to respond, most black people, to that black candidate. We've seen it with Barack Obama. You have people that never voted before they went and voted. Not just a black candidate, a black female, young, smart, and gorgeous female. And for all my people that say she flip off at the mouth, you Republican lovers, what is President Trump if he not flip off at the mouth? But you know what? You can say that he is. He authentic. He gonna tell you he gonna speak too much of his mind. But he's authentic, and the American people appreciated that better or more than politics as usual. Jasmine is a black female version of a President Trump, I might would say. She might not like that, but I'll say that for all the Republicans. You'll be surprised, the mind of a voter. In the right situation, you get them Republicans, they'll flip and they'll vote for Jasmine. They see similar qualities in her that they're even seeing President Trump. She a fighter, Donnie. They like that bravado and that gun smoke. That little extra edge that VP Harris didn't have, Jasmine have, because she'll get in your face and she'll tell you. And they like that. If you gonna get a female, what kind of female gonna win? Y'all thinking we need a proper primp and proper female? I don't think so. I think America will go for something like that because she look tough. She look strong. Y'all ain't gonna say Jasmine ain't gonna sit down in front of Putin and Putin to eat her up. You not gonna say that. Jasmine probably will be tougher on Vladimir than Donald Trump would be. I don't care what y'all say. Listen to the girl and her talking. What Vladimir gonna do? He gonna come to fisticuffs? No. Then if you talking about it's just a word of mouth, then who gonna out talk that? That girl is bout it with that mouth. That's what I'm saying. Just like President Trump bout it with, they're eating the cats in the doors. I'm saying what he's saying, Donnie, kind of preposterous. Her saying, ICE slave patrols, no, we can argue about that. They're going after black and brown people. Americans snatching them. Black and brown people, Americans snatching them. So she's saying they slave patrols? I mean, shoot. That's debatable. Amongst the black community and them 5 million blacks that she need to get fired up. It's politics, baby. Y'all want to say and talk about identity politics as much as you want to. I could care less. As much as y'all Republicans over the years been gal-powing and gal-towing and tow-towing or whatever towing to white supremacists like Nick Fuentes. And they call Charlie Kirk a white supremacist. Republicans for David Duke back in the day, Republicans for decades have been. So you gonna talk about a black person she getting people trying to rile up the base. She trying to get 5 million eligible black voters and if she gets, it's a wrap, and the Republicans know that. That's why Emerson College, when they asked the Republicans and the independents, Mr. Donnie, it don't matter what we saying out in the public. Emerson College just did the poll. And amongst the 30%, whatever Democrats that they asked Jasmine winning, But then the majority, this is a Democratic primary in the state of Texas, mind you. And they asking the majority of the people in the poll were Republicans and independents. And amongst Republicans and independents, James Talerico is their clear choice. They afraid of Jasmine, bro, or what she represents and what she brings. I'm saying I'll be watching content. We gotta be careful because it's AI on the internet and stuff. You see what I'm saying? So you gotta you should be careful what you read, what you believe, but you gotta be careful what you watching too. You know what I'm saying? The information. But if I'm not mistaken, she out there campaigning, bro. She going to some spots in the country. She reaching those different kind of voters. I seen her in a college. I seen her in Dallas, a big rally. She out there getting it in. We gonna do some strategy tomorrow. That debate, she gonna have to take the gloves off and start slapping that Talerico. I'm sorry, Talerico, but you gotta go home. I feel like James Talerico should have did what Colin already did, Donnie. He can't even run against her. I don't think the Republicans, if she keep running hard like she's doing, and if she listen to your boy Big Ghost Rider, we on a train, a unbeatable train. What y'all seen happen in Miami, we finna do it in the state of Texas, across the whole state. Jasmine finna shock y'all. And the Republicans see that and they know that. If you talk to Jasmine, she'll give you multiple, and I'm talking about multiple incidents of how the Republicans in the state of Texas have tried to suppress the black vote. I don't care if y'all don't want to talk about it. It's facts. I'm not litigating that they tried to suppress the black vote. That's neither here nor there. I'm looking at numbers. I'm looking at 5 million eligible voters who ain't voting. And you got a black female candidate, polarizing and gorgeous. Yeah, I would venture to say she is not the black female Donald Trump. She is not that. But I would venture to say that in the minds of the voters and the way they react to certain candidates is going to shock you, because the results are going to make y'all think she is the black female Donald Trump. It's a lot of male Republican voters that's going to either stay home or they going to vote for Jasmine. You know what I'm saying? I promise y'all that. Against that Republican, I promise y'all that. I don't know why the Republicans vote for Talerico in the Emerson poll, but I know they scared of Jasmine. Donnie says, I can only hope Jasmine Crockett will keep fighting as hard as she has been, and in fact, fights harder than she is today. Donnie, that is a beautiful comment. And that's coming for a Republican. That's coming for a Republican. I don't vote for anything, Bill. You just don't know, Jasmine. Are you even from the state of Texas? I love the fact that we nationwide, we are focused on that Senate race in the state of Texas, because that probably is the biggest Senate race, the biggest prize outside of governorship. It's the biggest prize in Congress, $100 million race. But for you guys who aren't from the state of Texas, in the state of Texas, we finna see in March. Because our community, I heard she moved through Texas State. If you did that, Jesse, yeah, baby girl, you on it. She listening. You going to see in our communities, and I say ours, across the state of Texas, she has mass support. All we doing is mobilizing her. And so as we draw in the attention to her, between her and James, Donnie, has been very graceful, which as he should be, as you should be, Mr. James. Yes, that's how you should be. But Jasmine, the OG, she can't be as graceful with you, sir, because this isn't your time. This is Jasmine's time. And you just Beto Jr., James, and I hate to say that to you. Maybe you should have ran for governor, but this ain't your place. This is Jasmine's place. This is Jasmine's race. This is our candidate, and she is our voice. And that's for everybody in the state of Texas. That's not just for black people. That's for white people. That's not just for Democrats. That's for Republicans too. Change gonna come. Do we want change, or do we want politics as usual? You see, Cronin isn't popular amongst Republicans or his own party. So who y'all want y'all nominee to be? Who you want the nominee to be in Texas? Because I want it to be Cronin because he having such a strong time. That means that I know a lot of Republicans ain't going to show up and vote for him. But I know a lot of black people going to show up and vote for Jasmine. You know what I'm saying? She just got to make sure she keep that support shored up amongst the Latinos. You know what I'm saying? But we could do that with them 5 million blacks who ain't voted. Let's see what Donnie says. He says, I say this as someone who opposes everything she supports as a libertarian. Rule number one, know your enemy. But this is what I'm saying, Donnie, you said know your enemy. Well, tell me her financial policies then. Tell me some of her financial policies. If you're a libertarian, you caucus with the Republican Party more than likely, Donnie, because you are a libertarian. That's where they caucus with. As most independents probably caucus with the Democratic Party. I'm saying, Donnie, you caucus with the Republican Party, but your physical responsibility is number one. Am I right or wrong? Most libertarians, Rand Paul, we always hear him talk about the money. So this is what I'm saying, Donnie. Here's my question to you. Tell me what Jasmine's financial plans, or I would say some policies that she has on the economy, if you know any. Because I'm saying, if you said that you opposes everything she supports, how you know that what she support on economic issues? Because I'm saying, I would think I know more than everything she posts on her page. I see it. Everything anybody posts with Jasmine and her name involved in it, I see it. I'm consuming all of the content, all of it. And I have a great memory. I have experience in that state. I lived in the city that she lived in. Even though I didn't live in her district, I'm very familiar with how she performs her job as a representative of the people of the state of Texas. And there's no way in the world, if you're familiar with that, you can't say the girl isn't good at her job. She's a good representative of the people. She's beloved amongst our community, and you about to find that out. Yes, indeed. About to find that out. So G.I. says you got to give up that voting for someone because they black. We don't care about that. It's all about tangibles. I'm FBA, and that's true, G.I. Ain't nobody said that. I did say that, but I ain't say that. I'm trying to win an election. I don't care if it was 5 million eligible white voters. I don't care if it was 5 million eligible Hispanic voters. Thank you for the donation, guys. Y'all can hit that gift button and give a donation. You can hit the button with the $ in it. Your donations are much appreciated. I don't care what color voters it is, but I'm just telling you the likelihood, reality, a little bit of strategy. I said I'm not going to give y'all that much strategy. This is a Cruising with Ghostwriter. Tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Eastern time, we're going to have our 5th episode of Jasmine for Texas. The debate is tomorrow between Talerico and Jasmine. So, you know, in the morning, just a little bit of strategy session. But this morning, we just talking stats and facts. We just talking stats and facts. And I just don't see where y'all coming out, where y'all just attacking her off of something you might have heard J.D. Vance say recently or President Trump say. That's what you attack. Because, bro, listen, how many Congress people or candidate, how many times you heard President Trump say James Talerico's name? If President Trump had to vote between Jasmine and James Talerico, who you think he gonna vote for? Democrats, y'all want to vote with them? That's the question. Within the Democratic Party primary, this should be clear. It shouldn't be a choice. The Republicans, they're going to be trying to run voters. They're going to be trying to go vote against Jasmine. That's what that Emerson College poll tells us. It's unbelievable. Y'all scared of her. Donnie says, Crockett's financial plans are gender quotas and racial quotas. Donnie, this is what I'm saying. That's why our community supports her so much, though. You don't understand that. That's not saying that she won't have policies. Listen, Donnie, it's not about policies that benefit blacks. It's more about social class than it is race. So forgive me, maybe if we run in an election, I'm gonna look at, oh man, she's extremely popular amongst the black community. She's a gorgeous young black woman. She's polarizing. She's got national. So there's 5 million. That's strategy. But I'm saying the way her policy, once she gets there, the execution of her policies, more specifically economics, will be geared towards helping the poor. That's not no black or white thing. That's why I say the farmers, they would be great. They would benefit great from her policies. It's a bunch of white people in the state of Texas who would benefit greatly for voting for Jasmine Crockett. If you make less than $100,000 a year, it don't make sense. If you're talking about whose policies are going to benefit you on the economics. So you say gender quota, or Donnie, or hold up, what Donnie say? My bad. Who was that? G.I. Donnie said, let's see. Gender quotas and racial quotas. I believe it'll help all people who are lower income in the state of Texas. She's not going to pass any bills or write any bills that's going to say we're going to promote black. Nah, it's not going to be like that. It's not going to be like that. G.I. says the Democrats are done. Ain't nobody voting for that party anymore. Well, G.I., we could put a wager up on what's going to happen this November. Or well, we don't even have to put a wager up. What happened in 2025? All of those solid red districts in America in 2025, they turned likely red. I'm saying even the races that you won, the Democrats won in Mississippi, they won in Georgia. In their own states, those purple states or those likely blue, because you can say what you want to about Virginia. Yeah, Democrat, but Republicans win in Virginia too. So in Virginia, all those blue, likely blue, they went solid blue. The whole, if you can't see it, listen to Ghost, because I know what I'm talking about. The whole electorate is shifted to the left. We don't have to say what we think gonna happen in November. We don't have to look back to 2018 and what happened the last time President Trump was president. We don't have to do none of that. All we got to do is look at what happened last year, every election. I guarantee you, Marjorie Taylor Greene's seat, y'all know she retired. They run an election. A Democrat is going to overperform 2024's election numbers. And that should be troublesome for every Republican in this great nation. Troublesome. Jasmine's tied with some of these candidates on the head-to-head matchup. She losing by this much to Cronin in a head-to-head matchup in a generic polls. What I'm trying to tell you, she gonna mobilize voters that hadn't voted before, and the Republicans are terrified of that. I don't care what they saying. Gee, I look at what happened in the Emerson poll. That's facts. I look at facts, what really happened. What's really happening is that Emerson, they asked independents and they asked Republicans. And the independents and Republicans overwhelmingly voted for your boy. Overwhelmingly for your boy. So that lets you know. Why would a Democrat want to, why would, if you a strategist in the Democratic Party, why would you want who the Republicans want to win? That sounds funny to me. That made me start thinking about some kind of racism or some kind of sexism. That's kind of, why would the Democrats in the state of Texas, that Emerson poll, like I said, thank you, Emerson. We ain't got to listen to what no hypothesis is. They let us know the mind of the independents and the Republican voters. because she won in the sample vote size with the Democrats, but with the Republicans and independents, your boy won overwhelmingly, making it look like he got a 9-point lead over her in the Democratic primary. He got a 9-point lead over her in the general election, and they not and they not even gonna be on no general election ballot. It's gonna be a Republican on the ballot. He that Republican. What? That's some funky stuff. But what I'm saying is it ain't no way in the world you gonna think in your mind for even half a second that Talerico a better candidate than her, or that why would you gonna side with who the Republicans want to win? She's got the best chance between them two of beating that Republican. You have tried for 30 years. Oh, I'm gonna get a little Hispanic male guy who's a Democrat. Yeah, he lost to Ted Cruz by 3 points. Beto. So I'm gonna get some kind of Hispanic, right? Talerico. Maybe not. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna get this little Beto Jr. guy, but I'm gonna make him a Presbyterian preacher. Like, that's gonna make a difference. A Presbyterian preacher, and make him younger and make him more progressive. Like, that's gonna make a difference. It's Beto 2.0. Your results, in my opinion, are gonna be the same, because he's not gonna be able to mobilize the largest swath of voters who aren't voting, which are the black voters. I believe the key to beating that Republican is a black female who's polarizing, because you have to motivate and you have to get those black voters to go vote. You got to make them vote. I don't think Talerico gonna make him vote, because without him, I don't think he's not gonna win. He gonna do what Beto did. You got to tap in to that base of voters who aren't going to the polls in the state of Texas because they're not enthusiastic, and that's what I'm saying. Who's the best candidate to do that? Jasmine's the best candidate to do that. The Republican strategists, they know that. And just like I told Donnie a second ago, you say that Jasmine a train wreck because of what she says, the outlandish things she says, then what about President Trump? Look at the outlandish stuff. All we talk about is outlandish stuff he's saying. Y'all tell me where my analysis is wrong, man. Jasmine for Texas. Y'all haven't liked the video, y'all go ahead, double tap that screen for me, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, guys. If y'all want to become a member of the channel and join the movement, channel memberships, they start at $2.99, man. You know what I'm saying? Hit the button with the $sign in it, man. Listen, if you guys, whatever y'all got to say down below, y'all jump down in the comments. I welcome everybody. Donnie, a Republican. We love these conversations. Donnie is talking to Brick's daddy. He says he wants her to win because she's different. That's simple. Not because of any of her stances, but different. No, Donnie. I'm saying, Donnie, listen, that's okay, because she's different is what I'm saying. That is an appeal. That change works. We've seen that not only with Barack Obama, with any can't look at Mandami. Even if Mandami isn't out there saying hope and change, what the voters see with him, they see different. That's what I'm saying. Put Mandami up against every other mayor that has been in the city of New York, and he's different than all of them. And out of the choices that they had, he was the biggest difference. You saw them run Como, who used to be a former governor. He's the establishment, really the Democrat establishment. And Mandami walked the dog on him with no money. He's different. That's the voters want different. I'm not saying, listen, part of this is a strategy. Me getting behind a candidate that I believe that could win. But Donnie, a candidate that I know is good for the people. And Donnie, if you haven't known, I'll go ahead and tell you the reason why me personally, Ghostwriter, want Jasmine to win is because things that she has done for her constituents in the state of Texas. I'm not speaking as a strategist or an internet person or some kind of media journalist analyst telling you guys that Jasmine is the best choice for the state of Texas. I'm speaking as a voter. I'm speaking as a disabled veteran. I'm speaking as a 2.5-year resident of the state of Texas who lived in the city that she lived, observed her as a representative of the people in the 30th district in Dallas. And I'm talking about a candidate who I've seen personally do things that have benefited me in my personal life. It's a reason for that loyalty. I'm not just all the way speaking on the reason for the loyalty, but it's definitely a reason for the loyalty. Now, if I'm talking about, listen, me in the state of Texas, what I know going on in the politics in the state of Texas, the voters, they definitely won't change. All voters in America want change. Voters are sick of the Democratic Party. Voters are sick of the Republican Party, bro. Tell me how I'm wrong. Look at we looked at the polls, Donnie, the other day. The Republicans, they're 35% approve. The Democrats, 18% approve. What I'm saying, they sick of each other party. Yeah, they want something different. Yeah, they want change. Jasmine represents different. She represents change. And I went over that, Donnie. We went over that. So that's why I say that I support her on that part. If you have something that's that's why President Trump got elected, because the voters wanted something different. They not trying to the same thing. They want something different. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying about her policies and her politics in general, yes, I like her policies and her politics way better than the opposition. I'm saying, Donnie, tell me something about John Cronin without looking it up, that his policies or his politics that you would vote for. Because I'm saying Jasmine is much more aligned with my political views and how I feel. We're not aligned on some issues. We're not aligned on transgenders and their rights or gays, but I don't never hear her talking about that. I hear her talking about the stuff that the voters care about, man. I heard her in an interview when I think it was El Murillo. She went to one of those country towns. I heard her in an interview. That's the best interview I heard from any politician, period. She speaks clearly, she speaks direct, and she speaks to the things that the voters who care. She's a voice. She might not be a voice that you feel like is the best representation of you, Donnie, but she is for me. Way better than Cronin, way better than Talerico, way better than President Trump. I feel like Jasmine's voice represents me better than J.D. Vance. That's facts. That's why we support it. So we could go on for hours of why we support her now. It ain't just because she's different. I think that's why she will win. Because the voters are sick of politics as usual, and they are willing to try and vote for something different, and she's different. It's like a wild card factor kind of. And I just think that she a better choice for the Democratic Party than Talerico. Donnie says, Ghost, if I'm wrong, which of her true policies are you supporting her, and which, if a Republican offered that same position, will have you vote against her? I mean, so basically, Donnie, you talking about on a larger scale. So if we speak on a larger scale, we're going to speak on the policies of what? The Democratic Party? The platform, I think she mostly in line with a lot of policies with the Democratic Party. Just general economics. That's my biggest disagreement with the Republican Party. It's general economics. I'm saying if Ghost, listen, if I started a political party or a political movement, it would be based on what one policy. And if y'all know the policy, if somebody could put the policy down below in the chat, do you know Big Ghost? You know what that policy is? That policy is going to be the next tour, the last tour I go on Legal Wars Live before we get a studio. That one policy that I disagree with the Republicans and agree with your boy Big Bernie Sanders on, and agree where that split come on, and that policy is to tax the rich. I believe in that. I believe that is the future of saving from the lower middle class to the poor in our world. When the robots finna come take over and the unemployment numbers finna soar, and I believe you're gonna need a government stipend to help take care of people, taxing the rich. I believe in that. That's like my biggest, Donnie, my biggest, and all the people on the stream, and this is where the Republicans and me will bump heads, because I believe in taxing the rich. I believe firmly in that. In my opinion, taxing the rich will be like a scripture. And some of you guys know the scripture where God had commanded in the old Hebrew, didn't he say work 7 years? How many scriptures in the Bible God talk about feeding the poor? You see what I'm saying? So I'm saying we can't make a rich man. How many times some of you guys in here, y'all know millionaires, or you guys are kind of wealthy, well-to-do. Y'all go to Walmart, or y'all go to Kroger's, or y'all go to Stop and Shop, and y'all see a homeless person sitting out there. How many times you go out there and give him food? How many times you help him? Well, I'm saying you have men in America who got enough money to almost cure homelessness. Definitely, if you put a few of them people you see running around with President Trump's together, you could, and come up with a plan and a strategy, you could almost cure. Well, I'm saying, like, it's going to come a time and a period in America where the unemployment rate is not going to be 4%, 5%. It's going to be up in 10 to 15%. And that time is coming very soon. You're going to have a political strategy to deal with that. I believe taxing the rich is the future. And not just the Democrat. I think taxing the rich will become a populist movement. Real talk. And Donnie, you asked me, so if you ask me my politics or what, like, it centers me. What centers me? I don't think that in voting for a political candidate, I don't think that us voting on a listen, for transgenders, all my transgender people like conversation. Let's have this conversation real quick. I told somebody this yesterday. How many transgenders you see in the course of a day? I'm saying, bro, I'm up here in big NYC, the metro. Y'all think it would be transgenders all over New York City, bro? I can't tell you when the last time I seen the transgender. And I know I got to see at least 100 different people every single day. I'm not in the house, as you can see. I see people on a daily basis. I hadn't seen a transgender in I don't know how long. So what I'm saying is they are a very small part of our population. The Democrat stance on transgenders, in my opinion, is completely and utterly wrong. But I just don't think that's affecting the most of us. That's what I'm saying. Those economic issues, they're affecting all of us. Transgender rights ain't affecting nothing but just a very small percent of the population. How many gay people do y'all see every day? I ain't gonna lie, I done seen a couple gay people. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying, Donnie and G.I., I don't see many gay people on a daily basis. So I'm saying, to me, in my opinion, President Trump folk spending the most money talking about transgender rights, if he winning on that, I'm saying to me, that's not really affecting the majority of the American people. Number one. Number two, Jasmine's not finna pass no legislation that is gonna make transgenders have more rights than they already have. Who giving them the rights? It's coming from the Supreme Court. On top of that, she ain't gonna pass no more right. The Supreme Court said gays can marry or not marry. The Supreme Court said that abortion is legal or not legal. That's not coming from laws. Because Congress know if they write a law, it's gonna get challenged in the courts anyway. The courts are the ones that's ruling on this. Congress can't pass a budget. How they gonna pass a bill for transgenders or pass it? So that's what I'm saying. I'm looking at the whole spectrum. Like, if I support this girl, like how is she gonna harm a cause against God? You say, Ghost, well, she going around saying it's okay for transgenders. Well, politicians go around saying a bunch of stuff that they shouldn't say all the time. The Republicans too. President Trump say a bunch of stuff on a daily basis that he shouldn't say. So in my opinion, she shouldn't be advocating for transgenders or gays. But I'm saying if she becomes senator, she's not going to change or affect any policy to help a transgender or a gay. That's facts. So I'm weighing like what politician best speaks for me or what politician best suits me. I'm weighing that, and I'm just weighing her as a better choice and a better politician than A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. That's just me, though. You know what I'm saying? Donnie, he says, why leave and not just get a salary pay of $200K and stock trusts, which are tax-free, and put in retirement bonus, nothing to tax. Patrick says, that's what's up, Biddy. Pretty bad policy when you don't know how to make somebody rich, but you know how to take. No, that's not what that is, though. I'm saying, Patrick, if you want to look at it like that, but that's not how it is. Who knows how to make somebody rich? Elon? So I'm saying if you put a 2% tax on Elon, I'm saying like a wealth tax on Elon, I'm saying how is he going to stop making people rich? Because Elon got it. That's what I'm saying. Like, people, their arguments again. I am so versed in this tax to rich. I got tax to rich shirts coming. I got a tax to rich tour coming, boy. You feel me? You feel me? How is Elon Musk, if he got to pay 2% more taxes, how is he going to stop making millionaires? How is he going to stop making the million, being the richest man in the world? I seen Elon lose like 45 billion, 29 billion, a lot of $1 billion in one day. And he done made 3-4 times that bad. So I'm saying, if you tax him and you tax him $29 billion, that's not going to break him. And he definitely wouldn't be taxed $29 billion, 2% of his whole wealth. If his wealth is $700 billion, that's only $14 billion max. He gonna make 18 times that. You gonna motivate him to just go get that money back. That's all it's gonna do. It's not gonna make him stop making millionaires. It's not gonna make Tesla like, that won't be no issues. Tax the rich. Well, you want to do it like President Trump did it. That's how you want to get money. And I'm saying, I don't know how much of that money is benefiting the American people. But I know the money that he did make off tariffs, I know now the Canadians aren't going to be driving Buicks. I know now they're not going to be driving Chryslers. I know now the Canadians are going to be driving Chinese EVs or EVs, Chinese electric vehicles. That's what the Canadians going to be driving now. China going to flood the Canadian market with Chinese vehicles right there across our border. You go to Toronto in 5 years, it's going to start looking how China look. You're going to see none but them Chinese vehicles riding around. I know President Trump's policies has done, economic policies has done that. I'm saying what? Listen, bro, I'm telling you, I'm well versed in politics. I'm well versed in strategy and economics. I'm talking about the future of America. You looking at 10% or better unemployment by 2029. That's 10,000% facts. Maybe before that, due to AI. All that money in the stock market, all them trillions of dollars President Trump getting from Saudi Arabia, all them other countries, they're not investing money to not have a return. Them robots and that AI has already started infiltrating job markets all across the world. The layoffs are coming. You got to have a strategy to deal with that moving forward. So when you ask me about Jasmine, number one, economics. Number one, we could start there. Tax the rich. I believe in that. That's what separates me from Republicans. On the physical issues, on conservative issues, on issues such as those, like on the issues dealing with conservatism, it's definitely social issues for me because I'm a Christian. I don't believe in two men getting married or kids having sex changes. That's where I differ from the Democratic Party. But I'm not going to support, like, it don't make sense for someone, Donnie, how much money you make a year? You make over $100,000 a year. If you don't make over $100,000 a year, y'all show me how the Republicans' policies are benefiting us. Because I didn't make $100,000 a year. I didn't make $100,000 last year. If I had $40,000 to invest, Donnie, I would probably be made a few $100,000 off the stock market. Too easy. I don't have a 401k. So I'm saying, how did President Trump's policies in year number one help me? Because you could ask the same thing. I told you about Mandami. We went over this yesterday. We just went over this yesterday. You know what I'm saying? I just think that the Democrats are more on point with helping the people than the Republicans, because I seen the Republicans give the rich people the largest tax break in U.S. history. I went to work out my taxes. I didn't see how there was any extra money that I was going to get on my taxes. It's different. Other people different. You know what I'm saying? How he wrote the tax code. But I'm just saying, man, I hadn't seen really too much of nothing that the Republicans done. This ain't no knock on President Trump. Personally, I'm saying the Republicans done to help me, economics. You should have said, how do I agree with the Democrats on issues to deal with social issues, or Jasmine on social issues, on economics? I'm gonna stand with 90% because I know her policies are geared, like I said, the Black community, but primarily not just women. Her policies are geared to help the poor. And that's white people too. Most of America, 60 to 70%, it don't matter how good Texas economy doing, Jazzy, the majority of Americans make less than $100,000 a year. The majority of Texans do as well. And I'm saying the Republican policies haven't done anything to benefit us. That's why Jasmine gonna win. If you guys haven't liked the video, go ahead, double tap the screen, subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all hit that notification bell. Someone please ping me if he answered me, if he means 2% wealth tax. Yeah, 2% wealth tax. Just the wealth tax. Donnie, just the wealth tax. Just the wealth tax. See, I'm different. President Obama, I think he did, I forgot his number where he raised taxes. I'm saying my taxes, the way that I believe in structuring the American tax system is a 2% wealth tax on anybody who is worth $100 million or better. 2% wealth tax. Elon, you worth 700 billion. That's 14. What's that? 2%. What's that? I don't know. I have to do the math. I'm almost positive that's about 14 billion, huh? Yeah, 2% wealth tax. And you do that on everybody who worth over $100 million. The way I would construct a wealth tax is I would incorporate Tesla and SpaceX and and uh and X. I would incorporate them together and I would just tax him one time. I wouldn't even tax his businesses. I wouldn't. I wouldn't have no business or no sale. I would tax him one time. I would do Jeff Bezos like that too. People who make between $1 million a year and $100 million a year, their taxes will go up too. If you make less than $1 million a year, you wouldn't pay not $1 in no taxes. We wouldn't take $1 of taxes out your paycheck, not $1. Tax the rich. How you would never beat me in an election. I take Bernie's plan. I'm talking about, and I'll lay a policy out for you. I'm freestyling, but I know the plan that I got. What I'm saying is the majority of the voters make less than $100,000 a year. What I'm saying, if you make less than $1 million a year with a family, not a single person, with a family. A single person, it'll be $500,000. If you make less than $1 million a year with a family, you wouldn't pay $1 in sales tax. There wouldn't be a candidate who will ever beat me. Tax the rich. 70% of the population make less than $100,000 a year. And the way I will run, like my policy, like we ain't gonna talk about, and we're not talking about transgenders. We're not talking about gays. We're not gonna talk about that. We just ain't gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about everything else but that. That's how I will run my. You see what I'm saying? Economic issues. You know where I'm standing at. You take $14 billion from Elon Musk, he's not gonna be broke. He could take $100 billion and put it in a high interest account, and he could let that money sit and make that $14 billion in taxes. Those rich people are very crafty. They know how to double, triple, and multiply money for millions of people. If you take $14 billion from Elon Musk, he's not going to stop teaching people how to be millionaires. He don't have no choice. Somebody worth that much money, it's going to be a bunch of millionaires that he didn't create. He don't have a choice. He might work 17 hours a day for Tesla, but he can't make all them cars. Him and them robots can't do that job by themselves. That's why he have over 100,000 employees. He's got a bunch of millionaires he's going to create. Jeff Bezos too. Don't worry about that. They're going to keep doing everything they doing. Just tax the rich. They got to pay taxes. We're going to rewrite the American tax system. Like, we're not taking no taxes from nobody making less than $1 million a year with a family, $500,000 a year single, not $1 in taxes. No, it's not the USSR. Listen, this is what I'm saying. Y'all listen to what Donnie said. So he's saying a wealth tax would be like the USSR. Let's do it like President Trump. Bro, you got a $38 trillion deficit, and countries stop buying our debt. And the way it's going with President Trump, they're gonna dump that debt. He making enemies. He taxing everybody, making enemies of our friends. My biggest argument is you got Chinese EVs. But President Trump came in the White House and his number one goal, let me put my sunglasses on, hater blockers. His number one goal was to kick China and Russia out of North America, out of South America, Panama, Venezuela. That's goal number one. We talked about all of this, man. It's part of my strategy. Now in Canada, they're driving Chinese electric vehicles. We don't want no American cars. We gonna drive Chinese cars. Carney was the wrong person for you to mess with President Trump. The wrong person. Cause I'm saying like that's gonna hurt you long term, hurt America long term. Chinese setting up right in Canada, your biggest trading partner. NATO allies. And not only that, that's what I'm saying, Donnie, you want to use that economic policy? That's failed policies, if you ask me. That's making America weaker overall, if you ask me. You could have kept that like it was, and you could use those tariffs against America's enemies, not friends. You can't put one tariff on one NATO nation. That's what I'm saying. I'm not against the tariffs. You see what I'm saying? But I'm saying Jasmine, she not going to advocate on no state race of no tariffs, or she might, because the tariffs hurt Texas businesses as well. I wouldn't spend too much time on that, but that taxing the rich, I believe in that. I wouldn't tell Jasmine to run on that. It ain't time yet. That's futuristic. It ain't time to run on no tax and nothing right now. You know what I'm saying? This ain't no strategy session for her. This is like a cruising with Ghost Rider. What I'm saying, Donnie, is like taxing the rich. I'll get you on every argument from every angle and tell you how it would work and why it would be better for the American people and everything. Tax the rich. Look, that it's individual. It wouldn't be you saying business shares. If you look at it like that, Donnie, how I look at it, it would be individuals. Donnie, how I look at it, it would be individuals. Like I said, if Elon got SpaceX, I wouldn't tax him on his businesses. Because of the employees, I would be taxed. It would be. The code I would write would be taxing the individual. I mean, it's the same thing, but I'm saying, I guess you're saying the businesses pay taxes. I'm saying I wouldn't. I would restructure the whole code. I'm not looking to collect taxes from no businesses. I don't have to. You know how many millionaires it is in America? You start counting them billions. It's a lot of money. A whole lot of money. I'm saying, like, in my opinion, Donnie, like, I don't know, man. If you get the money from that's where the money it's gonna have to happen, Donnie. It's not something that Ghost is saying he wants to do. I might not be writing it in my mind like the best way we gonna run it, but that wealth tax, that's coming, Donnie. It's coming. And you're not gonna be able to leave America and go anywhere else in the world because everybody gonna be using AI. You have situations like that in Saudi Arabia and China right now, and the government been paying stipends to the people. Who was that? Andrew Yang, who said he believed that everybody in America could get a stipend, $1,000 a month. Andrew Yang said all the people who make under a certain amount should get $1,000 a month stipend in America. That's coming, bro. That's futuristic. But the future is closer to now than later. If you guys haven't liked the video, go ahead and double tap that screen for me. Donnie said Bezos and Elon make and lose money based on their share prices. Well, what I'm saying is based on their share prices, however you want to write the code, Donnie. However you want to write the law. But we need 2% of their wealth every year. 2%. Just make above that 2% wealth tax you got to pay every year. They do it anyway. He just getting richer and richer. Elon, he finna be a trillionaire. You getting 2% of $1 trillion every year from one person. That's a lot of money. Tax the rich. I'm saying you're not gonna get 2% of a man who got a family of 4 and he make 1.2 million a year. You ain't gonna take 2% of his wealth. But Elon and them, yeah, definitely. The rich can't find a way around it. You can't. If you find a way around it, then let's tax your business then. Instead of taxing the man, let's tax the business. Because I'm saying, if you come tell me, say, I ain't gonna pick on Elon or Jeff Bezos. I ain't gonna pick on Walmart. Let's say Dollar General. Say they got 1,000 employees in 10 stores across their district. And due to AI robotics, say they could let off half of those employees across their 10 stores. So now they only got 500 stores across 10 stores. 500 employees across 10 stores. I'm saying those employees, where are they gonna, how they're gonna survive? They can't go to Walmart because Walmart's doing the same thing. They can't go to Amazon because Amazon doing the same thing. I'm saying, like, you're going to have large numbers of people who are unemployed. And the Dollar General isn't making any less money when they bring a robot in there to do your job. Y'all know how y'all go in Walmart? And they had, before in Walmart, they didn't have registers that could just ring you up, machine learning, where you could just go up to the register and you could just we don't even think about it today because it's becoming so commonplace, the technology. So you just go into a register and you just ringing in the register and you leaving without an employee. Back in the day, you had to have an employee at every register at Walmart. Well, I'm saying then, since you got the self-ringing register, sometimes you'll go in Walmart, they got 4 cashiers. And all the rest of people ringing in some Walmart. You see what I'm saying? So I'm saying it's coming a day where they're going to have humanoids that's going to be able to do tasks that human beings can do. And they ain't got to pay labor for it. All you got to do is service this robot. Keep your AI online. Y'all feeling that? So I'm saying now, you got half the employees, but you're making the same amount of money. And those employees, they become a burden on the U.S. government. You still got that $38 trillion debt. So you still got to go hard to try to fix deficits. That's what I'm saying. What are you going to do? You're going to tax the rich. If you don't tax them individually, you got to tax those businesses because, like I said, half of those businesses, half the employees on the businesses are not going to be unemployed. You're going to have to give them a stipend. They already do that and say they got oil stipends in Saudi Arabia. Been doing it. You could call it communism. You could call it socialism. You could call it whatever you want to. You got to figure out a solution for the problem. I got a solution. What's that solution? Y'all already know. Say it for me one time. Say it for me one time in the back, y'all. I'm telling you, I got a tour. I'm going out west. And I'm going to be live streaming outside on a beautiful beach in Cali with a Tax the Rich shirt on. I don't know how much AI gonna step up and bump up the unemployment rate. We not sure. It's not really having that much of an effect. The unemployment rate is about 4.4% right now. That's pretty good. But I'm saying you see it trickling over 5% and the stock market look good. That's what I'm looking for. You see unemployment rate at 7%, but the GDP looks good. That's when you know it's coming. It's coming a day, y'all, when the U.S. economy is going to be completely dead. You ain't going to be able to look at the stock market or tell, and the job rate is going to be horrible. But the wealth and the growth in America is still gonna keep growing. Rich people are getting richer under President Trump right now. Y'all don't understand it. They said President Trump and his sons made $1.4 billion. I guarantee you Jeff Bezos made a whole lot of money. I guarantee you they look into it. Elon done made a whole lot of money. Y'all look into it. These people making money. They getting rich, is getting richer. What you getting, Donnie? David, what you getting? How much money y'all made since President Trump been president, David? Dreamer, how much you made? David, how much you made? We know that President Trump and them made $1.4 billion. Jeff Bezos, hey, everybody getting money. Everybody, how much you making? Tax the rich. Donnie says Elon, the man, owns 42% of SpaceX shares and gets zero income from it. What? That's hard to believe. Your plan is to take 1% of his business and give it to the government, and the government would just sell it. Am I wrong, Ghost? You say the government would just sell it. I'm not sure that the shares? I don't think you could look at it as taking 1%. I'm saying so 2%. First of all, Donnie, and we're gonna take 2%. And we're gonna share. We're gonna sell those annually. We need that annually. That's an annual tax. That 2% wealth tax is annually, Donnie. Tax the rich. There ain't no way around it. We can listen. The policy writers could write the policy. I just got the ideas. And I'm going to give you the logic behind the ideas. And I'm telling you what I'm saying. I know what I'm talking about. Those economic policies that Jasmine Crockett stands on is what makes me align with her. I'm saying if we sat down at a table and we share visions of how we think the government should operate in the lives of the citizens of Texas or across any state in America, my ideas are going to align on the economy with AOC. Whatever little slight difference that could be a jet light for real, it's going to align with Jasmine on the economy. The way you build the economy, the way you grow the economy. My 48 months of consecutive job growth, Joe Biden, that's what I believe in it. I'm saying, well, the way President Trump is doing it, it benefits the rich. That's facts. That is the complete opposite of what the economics that I believe in. I believe in feeding the poor. If that's the case, what Jesus was doing when he was on the earth? All the Christians in here, or the Republicans, y'all saying y'all Christians, what Jesus was doing? He was burning 500 food. He didn't take no fish and no bread and feed. He burned 500 tons of food that for the poor. America had enough food to feed across the world, and they burned it. Food. That's what Jesus was doing. Nah, bruh. We taxing the rich, man. That's what we doing. King Fire says buy land to 10,000%. You know what I'm saying? King Fire said they saying Crockett needs to fight for Americans like she does for Unreal Israel. Nah, King Fire. See, that's they just saying that, King Fire, because that's what they do when they try to attack Democrat. That's in y'all see what the chat I posted or I pinned down below, King Fire. That's Democrat on Democrat infight. When that's how they attack King VP Harris. James Talerico and Jasmine Crockett's position on Israel, we're going to see tomorrow night in that debate, are almost exactly the same. So you think James Talerico believes in completely defunding the state of Israel. James Talerico don't believe that. King Fire, you telling me play one clip for us that you saying that James Talerico saying that he believes in completely defunding Israel. James Talerico don't believe that, and Jasmine don't believe that either. Why should she? Progressive voters are not going to determine the election in the state of Texas. I promise you. Jasmine don't have the problem. She's not going to have the problem with her support of Israel or any of that if she motivates those voters that she's looking to motivate to go vote. Because I don't know too many black voters who care about whether or not we support Israel or not. That's what's not making people go to the votes and vote, excuse me. That's not going to make people vote against you, bruh. I think that's like a transgender issue. You just use something like that to try to brand the candidate to be corrupt or brand the candidate not to be. That's an issue used for branding to help, but it's not an issue that directly affects the voters and voting. I don't think people are not going to vote for Jasmine just because, you know what I'm saying, she supports Israel, King Fire. I disagree with that. You feel me, my boy? I disagree with that. You said AIPAC says she's one of theirs. That's not true, King Fire. Where you get that information from? That's not true. And I'm saying if she was, listen, if Jasmine was one of AIPAC's, that's not in Texas. That could affect an election in California or New York or possibly Illinois, but not in Texas. I think if she supports Israel and part of AIPAC, that's not going to affect Jasmine Crockett in 2026 in that Senate race in the state of Texas, King Fire. It's not going to affect her. Primarily, most of these black voters that will go vote that's not voting, they don't even know what AIPAC is. Think about it. You got 5 million voters who not voting, black voters in Texas, and I'm saying you trying to get 1 million of them to go vote. Them million people are not going to go vote because AIPAC is not going to say, hey, I don't never vote in a statewide election, but I'm going to go vote all of a sudden because Jasmine is in or supports AIPAC. That's not going to make them vote. What's going to make them vote and charge them up is issues pertaining to the economy, because probably a vast majority of those people make less than, or if not all of them make less than $100,000 a year. And if they view her as their fighter, as their hope, as their voice, that's what's going to make them go vote. I'm telling you, I don't think AIPAC would be an issue in a super red state where the Democrats have won in 30 years. AIPAC isn't going to be the issue. You're not going to all of a sudden get an influx of extremely progressives that is going to move that race. So if Emerson is telling us right now the Republicans and the independents are choosing James Talerico over Jasmine, I'm saying those people are supporting AIPAC. And that's in a general election. I'm saying if you have if she wasn't able to bring new voters, those new voters that she's looking for, if she's not able to bring them to the electorate, then head to head against Cronin, if you're just going by the polls, she's going to fall up a little short. So there's not going to be more progressives voting than independents or Republicans, what I'm saying. You might have more Democrats voted than ever before. That might be something that you'll see. More Democrats or more blacks voting in this election than you've seen ever before in Texas. That might be something you see. And I guarantee you, if that is what you see, they're not going to be voting on AIPAC. And I guarantee you more progressives than independents or Republicans are not going to vote. So her stance on AIPAC, in my opinion, is neither here nor there. King Fire said, he said he don't trust them. None of them. I know, man, but you got to pick one of the two, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what ghosts do. I'm doing politics, so I'm rocking politics. So it's like one of the two. Man, I believe, like, I believe, listen, I believe in what Jasmine believes in, bro. I believe in what she stands for. I believe she'll fight for the people. I said this before. This ain't no knock on President Trump because he our president and it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like you be asking, hey, y'all, when you gonna come help her? When you gonna come? I'm saying VP Harris, her policies that she would have tried to be working to get enacted, even signing executive orders, would be geared to helping people who make less than $100,000 a year. Democrats believe in building the economy from the bottom or the middle up, making the middle class bigger. That affects more Americans. That's what I believe as far as economics. I believe in that. I'm firm in that. I go a little further, and my ideas on economics are a little more progressive. Because how President Trump is being aggressive. If you had ghosts running an economic plan, I'm saying I wouldn't change not one thing President Trump did on them tariffs besides taxing a NATO ally or Israel. Those are, I would not have taxed those people. The rest of the world, he could tax whoever he wants to. I would have been cheering them on because America needs the money. But number two, instead of giving that tax break he gave to Elon and Jeff Bezos and them, I would have taxed them, Donnie. I would have gave them a corporate tax. That's what I would have done. Keep the whole his whole policy that he got in line, keep that in line. Tariffs and everything, just don't tax no allies. Don't tax Canada, reverse all that with Canada and China, bring Canada back in, you know what I'm saying? Do it different, don't tax no allies, don't pick on no allies. Those your friends. But the rest of the world, China, those tariffs, I probably would have tariffed them harder. I tariff Russia harder. I tariff all the rest of the countries in the world harder. But that corporate tax, I would have taxed the rich. That's what I believe in. Donnie says, tax the rich tells me I need to buy more ammo, as whoever says that hates that I'm employed and I want to rob me if I was self-employed. Nah, Donnie, that tax the if you buy more ammo, that's saying that you must be a rich man. That's what that's saying, Donnie. If you worth over $100 million, ain't nobody gonna rob you. We talking about government. These are government movements. Yeah, man, I believe in taxing the rich, bro. I believe in taxing the rich, man. Ghost got them new teeth, that new merch coming out. Donnie, I'm gonna send you one of them shirts for free. You know what I'm saying? As soon as we get them 10,000 subscribers, so if y'all hadn't subscribed to the channel, make sure y'all help your boy out. Hit that subscribe button, that notification bell. As soon as we get that 10,000 subscribers and YouTube let us open up shop, man, we got them tax the rich merch coming. We taking the show on the road, man. You feel me? You know, eventually we going to head out west and we going to be promoting that tax the rich. Definitely. You know what I'm saying, y'all? It's a Friday, man. I came and kicked it with my boys, King Von and Donnie. You know what I'm saying? Showing some love, man, you know, on this Friday, man. A little free time. Donnie says, I make less than 100K, but my parent company is worth over 100 million. And you said just take, yeah, Donnie. Your parent company, we gonna take 2% of they, yeah, definitely. And Donnie, we gonna take that money and we gonna spend it back towards you. We gonna take that money and anybody who wanna buy a home in America, you gonna get a $25,000 tax credit. Somebody said, "Oh, Ghost, you gonna buy a house for $10,000?" Ha ha ha. Nah, I got VP Harris. That 10,000, I'm gonna put it in the bank and let that sit. I'm gonna take that 25,000 VP Harris gonna give me for buying a house that we gonna get from Elon and them, that tax credit. and I'm gonna go to use a GI Bill or whatever, and bro, I'm telling you, I'm gonna win big time. Yeah, tax the rich. We gonna spend that money back to you, Donnie. We gonna spend that money back to you, King Fire. If you make less than $100,000 a year, we gonna try to grow the middle class from the bottom up. That's how we gonna do it. If you make less than $100,000 a year, you ain't paying no taxes. If you make over $100,000 a year, you paying taxes. What I would do, I would rewrite the sales tax code too. That's just facts. I think she is. Y'all don't think who in here think that VP Harris ain't gonna run again? I'm almost sure she is. The question, King Fire, is will she be able to beat Gavin Newsom? We're gonna have to see. I think it's going if they both run, I think it's gonna be between Gavin and Kamala. I really think that Governor Bashir from Kentucky, I think he'll probably do pretty good. He'll probably be within the last ones. And I think Governor Shapiro will be too. But I think if Kamala and Gavin Newsom, Gavin Newsom, I hadn't seen someone who's more promising to be president. If you ask who the leader of the Democratic Party right now, I think people would tell you Gavin Newsom. So I'm saying predicting or projecting Gavin Newsom becoming the next president of the United States, I don't think that is too far off base projection. Or becoming definitely the Democratic nominee. But I think he gonna have to beat Kamala. If she run again, I think she gonna run again. That's what I think. I think that's why she didn't run for governor of California, because she was considering it. I did live streams. I really believe she was gonna run for governor of California. She said, nah, she gonna let it ride. She raised $1 billion in 90 days, bro. It's not like people, they just didn't know her back then. She learned a whole lot. She wrote the book, so I think she gonna give it another run. Her economic policies, in the end, they were polling as high or higher than President Trump's. If you heard Joe Rogan say, he says it's not her economic policies that he felt that people had a problem with. Her economic policies, bro, I'm telling you, they was on point. They were geared to help our community. She believed in price fixing those prices in the grocery stores. You could call it socialism. You could call it whatever you want to. I'm going to call it helping the American people. That's what I'm calling it. I'm calling it helping the American people. So you help the American people. I don't care about no politics or how something look or how something nothing. You help the American people by you forcibly stopping regulations what President Trump and the Republicans call socialism. You forcibly stop these businesses from raising prices. That's how you lower the prices on day one. Write that executive order. But they play politics. You know what I'm saying? I don't play politics. I want to fix it. I think what VP Harris was saying, listen, this is what y'all got to realize. The goal isn't to keep Elon rich, Donnie. The goal isn't to keep King Fire rich, Donnie. There ain't nothing you could do about his riches. You can't take them from him. He don't need you to give him more money. He gonna get his own money. Facts or fiction. He don't need you to give him money. He gonna get his own money. And regardless of what you do, he's still gonna be rich, super rich. He's still gonna make millionaires. What's 2% tax gonna hurt him? What's it gonna hurt? The corporate wealth tax. The wealth tax. What's it gonna hurt him? He gonna figure out a way around, like you said, to make more money. Might stimulate the economy more, making them pay them taxes. Y'all think it's going to hurt the economy? It might stimulate them more. Right now, we not worried about you firing people and trying to create jobs, really. Because they're going to fire people anyway because of AI. Right or wrong? People gonna be getting fired anyway because of AI that's coming. So we not really worried about. I'm not really worried about that too much. I'm worried about protecting my citizens, helping my citizens that are hurting. I'm worried about creating a homelessness, stop homelessness task force, a task force to combat homelessness and drug addiction. It's just like the Democrats, they more aligned in what I believe that the policies we can enact to make America a better place. It's just the only place they get off course is with that gay rights stuff, two gay people getting married, and transgenders. They get off course. Because I don't believe those policies will make America better. But we talking about Jasmine, if she not enact, I don't think Gavin Newsom's going to run saying he's going to enact a policy to help a transgender. He going to write an executive order to help a transgender. He run on that. That's not popular in America. Democrats have to learn that, King Fire and Donnie. But what I'm saying, even though she ain't got the power really to do that, I don't think she going to have the power to do that. You see what I'm saying? Jasmine, or any candidate running for Senate or Congress or governor. But I'm saying you're going to vote for a person whose economic policies don't benefit you at all, Donnie. That don't make no sense. You vote for a person because those economic, my policy. Listen, Jasmine say if Jasmine or VP Harris, she support transgenders or she put the what bill in Congress or what bill, she ain't finna do nothing to help no gay people or transgenders. She just going to be saying they support him, and it's going to be up to a Republican Supreme Court, which they going to shoot down anything to do with transgender, and that Supreme Court going to be Republican for the next, I don't know how many years. So that Supreme Court going to shoot down. See, you just got to understand the system. That Supreme Court going to shoot down, just like they made abortion illegal, they going to shoot down the transgender stuff and the gay stuff. That court going to have the final say, not that politician. I don't care if it's a president. We see that. The court is in charge. So that Supreme Court going to make that ruling, and that Republican Supreme Court is going to shoot that down. I know that. So now I'm free to look at something else. I'm free to look at economics, which will actually affect my everyday life. She making a policy. Listen, when VP Harris was vice president at the end of her term, I had about 8 racks in the bank chilling. About 8,000 in the bank chilling. I had my business. I had a $20,000 check on the way. It's like my problem started. When they were president, I wasn't getting pulled over by no police. I wasn't turning on the TV and seeing a girl get shot in the face by ICE. So you could say what you want to about Kamala Harris. President Trump, I don't see how his policies might be working better for you, Donnie and King Fire, but say they working better for y'all. I'm saying VP Harris, I know her policies would have worked better than me, for me. President Trump, what he doing to help me? What policies he passing that's going to help me in my personal life get to where I'm trying to go? And you can't talk about no personal responsibility because that's not when he said when he was running for election. And we talked about that yesterday. That's why we ain't got as many people in the live stream because we basically just doing a review and getting ready for that Jasmine for Texas tomorrow. That Jasmine for Texas tomorrow, though, we going to be talking about it, bro. Like, real talk. We going to be talking about it. Because it's time to take them gloves off, and she going to have to get at Talerico head. She going to get at y'all Republicans head. She a fighter. You talking about Texas tough. They voted for President Trump. She needs to be a female President Trump. Real talk. They like that. We like that. Everybody wants somebody fight for them, and the Republicans are scared of her because they want a candidate like that who will fight for them. So that's just my take on it. Y'all gonna be hurt and shocked come November when Jasmine be elected senator, the next senator from the state of Texas. I can't wait. I don't know about ignorance, King Fire. I don't think so, man, but I understand that's your opinion, my boy. I'm independent first. I don't claim Democrat or Republicans. I don't claim them either. But I was just responding to Donnie when Donnie asked me, like, what policies that I align with Jasmine on. Basically, that's what he asked me. And like I've explained this as an independent. I heard Stephen A. Smith said he's a physical conservative, but he's a social liberal. Well, I wouldn't say I'm a physical liberal, but I believe in helping the poor. I grew up poor. I come from abject poverty. It might not have been that bad. It was bad enough. I mean, I made probably twice the poverty line in amount of money, but I'm still like trying to come up. A lot of the reasons why I'm going through what I'm going through, Donnie, is my own making, but I'm still trying to come up. And I'm saying for the people trying to come up, whose policies benefit them? Jasmine's policies will benefit me better than John Cronin's. That's the bottom line. I left Texas. And I'm saying I wouldn't think about return. I couldn't say that about Governor Abbott. Now, some Republicans, but I'm just saying, typically on economics, I tend to lean left. On social issues, I lean right. That's why I'm an independent. I don't agree with no giving no rich man no tax break. I don't agree with that. Tax the rich. Donnie said, Democrats' politics help my economy growth more than Republicans. Donnie, how can you say that? Look at the last presidents. Maybe you say growth, but overall economy. The last Republican versus Democrat. Look at George Bush economy and look at Barack Obama's economy. Who won? If you compare Ronald Reagan and Bill Clinton, I'm saying you might barely win. No, you don't. Bill Clinton's GDP was higher than Ronald Reagan. Barack Obama's GDP was higher than George Bush's. And Joe Biden's GDP was higher than Donald Trump's in his first term. What are we talking about? You talking about growth. Let's be real. Let's do the comparison. Go back since 1980. Okay? That's 26 years, Donnie. If you compare the Republican, your general, your top general on the economy, if you get President Ronald Reagan, I think his GDP was 3.6 or 3.9. Bill Clinton's was 4.0 over 8 years. That's unbelievable growth. You got to get back to get growth like that over 8 years. President Trump might post 5% GDP. That's a quarter, bro. What's his year look like? What's his year look like? What I'm saying is Bill Clinton did 8 years at 4.0 in growth, GDP. And you looking at against Ronald Reagan, who had 3 point something, right? Okay, look at President Bush, the next Republican, and President Obama, the next Democrat. President Obama's GDP was higher than President Bush. President Bush presided over the Great Recession. Obama had to come rescue the country. And then you look at President Trump and President Biden, and President Trump's first year, you could blame it on COVID, whatever. Maybe it was. I'm just giving you stats and numbers and facts. President Trump's first term, his GDP was 2.3, and Joe Biden's GDP was like 3 point something. Imagine Joe Biden having a 3.2, 3.4 GDP, and at the same time, he helping the American people. Joe Biden brought the most Americans out of poverty due to COVID. Everybody not having a job. Joe Biden passed policies that help Americans recover quickly. I'm not advocating for President Biden. I'm talking about Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris, her policies when she was running, a $25,000. Let me see President Trump address how the rent is in America. Write an executive order on that. If you had a president who had a policy where you get $25,000 tax credit for buying a house, Ghost could buy a house tomorrow. That $25,000 is above the down payment. It's above the down, or it's the down payment. You say I got 10 racks in the bank. You see what I'm saying? Like, what's the house note gonna be? About $500 a month, $700, $800 a month, depending on where you. I'm gonna go to the country somewhere. You feel me? I'm saying VP Harris, her policy, she done policy like they work for the people. I'm saying, that's all I'm saying. That's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying, Donnie? I feel like you got your opinion, my boy, and I just don't see people who make less than $100,000 a year, how his policies benefit you. Because everything he did against transgenders, like I said, how many transgenders you gonna see in the course of a day? I don't think I've seen one since I've been up here in New York. So you did something against transgenders or help that's not going to benefit me or help me none in my life. I'm not voting on nothing to do with transgenders. If I think somebody could go pass a law and everybody would become a transgender, then I'll go vote to stop that. But Jasmine's not finna pass a law and all of a sudden you got 1,000 more transgender in Texas. That's folly or folly. So I don't think that's a major issue on what I'm voting. That ain't a moral issue. It's about her having the power and the authority to be able to actually pull that off. It's not going to happen. The Supreme Court is the one who making the shots on that. And they conservatives. So I'm overlooking that for a second, and I'm looking at this dude who talking about getting my boy Big Elon. Bro, Elon fell out. Elon didn't like that big, beautiful bill either. I told y'all he wouldn't like it. I said, go ask Elon. Him and he went at President Trump over that big, beautiful bill. You know they done got cool now. You know what I'm saying? Elon, the only rich person I like. Elon, the only rich person I like. That's it. Elon, the only billionaire I like. The only billionaire I like is Elon. When they get on Elon, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how it be. If I was like, you know, and if I was the Democrats, I'll be protecting Elon behind the scenes in the conversations. I'll be shooing them. Because I seen some things from old dude that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I salute him. So shooing him. Get off Elon. Other than Elon, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying he gonna have to pay the tax too. I'm saying other than Elon, the rest of them, I'll be trying to, bro, listen. You know what? Y'all tripping. Y'all tweaking. You know, they had a problem in Saudi Arabia where I forgot. I need to go back and research what caused Mohammed bin Salman to do this, MBS, the Crown Prince. But they had a problem in Saudi Arabia with money. He ain't trying to pass no laws, no parliament, no taxes. He went and got all the richest people in the world, in Saudi Arabia, and he brought them to like a Hyatt or whatever in Riyadh, the capital, okay? And he put all their finances down. He found the corruption, and he did what I basically said. He gave them a tax. He said, you got to give this much of your money to the state because we got to feed our citizens. We got to take care of our people. And if you ain't giving money to the state, you know, that's Saudi. He a king. You ain't leaving this hotel till you sign this paper that you're going to give up this much of your money. Every one of them people in Saudi Arabia, ain't none of them left. They all still rich. Every last one of them. I believe that. And who's going to take care of the poor people in the community? How many poor people? Listen, you think If Jeff Bezos, first of all, he gonna have 1,000 people around him probably, so he can't. But I'm saying like somebody worth $100 million, little baby Jeff Bezos. How many homeless people you think they pass on a daily, and how many of them do they stop and feed? That's what I'm saying. Who gonna feed them homeless people? Who gonna care about the poor? Republicans talk about euthanizing homeless people. Who gonna care about the poor? That's what I'm saying. Who? I'm saying you can't have a golden age if you're leaving 70% of America behind. That's not what Bill Clinton did. That's not, I remember them Bill Clinton years. In them Bill Clinton years, it was like President Trump. It was like your administration in 2017 and 2018. Where if you lose a job today, you could get a job tomorrow. 2 or 3 jobs. Listen, I had a man explain to me in Bill Clinton's years, if you lose a job on Monday, by Friday, you got 5 job offers, not interviews, offers. That's Bill Clinton's economy. Yeah, it was how President Trump's was in 2017, 2018. Yeah. I'm saying Jasmine is more along in those lines. You know what I'm saying? Over a period of time, you know, the policy, you just work with her, you just tweak it. She gonna listen to what we saying. She our voice. She our candidate. She best represents me. She represents me better than President Trump. Kamala represents, I don't see how y'all, after a year of him being president, you can't see that. And you making $75,000 a year. Donnie, you probably doing good. You comfortable. But I'm saying you making $75,000 a year. You got 2 kids, your wife, your insurance premiums just tripled. Come on, man. Rent so high. You know, they trying to cut the interest rates. I'm saying, like, don't be ghost. Disabled and can't work. Oh, man, you got a whole struggle. He cutting food stamps. He cut everything. All the programs cutting everything. I'm saying it's no way you could be. This ain't nothing against President Trump. This just facts. 70% of the people make less than $100,000 a year. I said that 5 times yesterday. Say it 5 times today. And when I do my research tomorrow for Jasmine for Texas, I'm going to say it 5 times in her strategy session. In the state of Texas, how many people make less than $100,000 a year? How many families? If you're a single man and you make $100,000, that's a pretty good bit. That's what you need to be comfortable. As a single man, $100,000. So I got to make $60,000 more than I made this year to be comfortable. But what I'm saying, if you're making less than $100,000 and you in America right now, you are definitely not comfortable. That's just facts. Titan Bruce says credit card generations. Today's credit card debt has reached a 1.7 trillion, and I'm living off them credit cards. Living off of them. I'm disabled. You could call me whatever name you want to. I'm a disabled veteran. I own a business. I haven't filed a case in 14 months until just recently. So I'm 14 months behind. I done made up about 6.5 of those months though. So I'm a little 7 months behind. That's what it is. 7 months, them cases gonna start closing and the money gonna start pouring. So what I'm supposed to do? If this was Kamala's America, I would have never gotten this spot. When I had that $8,000, probably a little early, but as soon as she started enacting them policies, I go buy that house in 20. You know how many homes would start being bought if you gave $25,000 tax credit for you gonna stimulate that market, especially if you did it right and you did that corporate wealth tax and you was able to pay for it, or if you did tariffs. President Trump got tariffs. What he using to do with the tariff money? What I'm saying is with Kamala Because I'm half conservative. Let's run President Trump playbook and let's put tariffs on America's enemies, not their friends, number one. And the corporate wealth tax, number two, and we'll have a lot of money to help ghostwriter and people, disabled people. You could say what you want to. Under Bill Clinton, the economy was booming, not just for rich people. It was a bunch of people getting rich, just like President. But I'm saying it was a bunch of millionaires. The middle class grew exponentially under Bill Clinton, and I don't have to research that. Go research it. The people who listening to this and they know, they like, yup, he right again. The middle class grew, as that means regular, ordinary people had an opportunity under Bill Clinton, not President Trump's economy. That child tax credit, that those, every person who's poor knows about this, who got children. That child tax credit that you get the extra $2,000 to $4,000 per child back on your taxes when you carrying them on your taxes. Earned income, whatever the credit called. Ronald Reagan's the one who did that. That has to be the greatest distribution of wealth in the U.S. history. Ronald Reagan, the Republican president, the one who did that. He tried to help the bottom. You can have 5% growth, but 70% of the people in your country are struggling. That's not no golden age. It's a golden age for the top 30%. Not gonna get no golden age like that. President Trump trying, but he coming up short on Ronald Reagan and way short on Bill Clinton, because Ronald Reagan's economy and growth wasn't better than Bill Clinton's. Go check their GDPs. It wasn't better than Bill Clinton's. And George Bush's economy and growth wasn't better than Barack Obama's. Nowhere close. And in President Trump's first term, all 4 years, was not better than Joe Biden's 4 years. In growth, go check the numbers. Those economics, the Republicans, I don't believe in it. I don't think it works, period. I do not think that none of that trickle-down economic stuff, I don't think it works. It makes no sense. I'm going to get rich because they know how to create wealth. Who cares? He going to still create wealth when you tax him because he know how to create wealth. How does that make sense to give him a tax break? That's the craziest. And look, Donnie, what they do is they run that game on poor people, bro. They run that game on poor people. They tell that poor, you Donnie, you make less than 100. Shut up over there. Stay in your turn till y'all throw you down that morsel of food. Stay over there, you slave, till I throw you that morsel of food. That's how they talking to you. And you going to go out there and fight and vote for politicians that's going to support Elon. Elon don't need that's my dog. You know what I'm saying? I don't know him personally, but yeah, Elon, you know my boy. But Elon don't need your help. You could take 30 billion from him a year. He's still gonna get $1 trillion. He's still gonna get there. Cause Elon, I understand that about rich people. I know rich people, some of the strongest minds most determined people, that's how they got it. You take 5 billion from him, he gonna still be where he is. But that 5 billion, I could do a lot with that. That's a lot of 25,000s for a lot of people who can't afford to come up with that down payment to buy a home. That's a lot of homes being bought. And those people gonna move out of homes, and we're not gonna let these businesses come buy up out of houses and drive up the housing market. What's he doing about the rent in the housing market? I'm saying $100,000 or less per year. That's 70% of America's electric. And he's not doing nothing to help 70% of America's electric. I will see you, Donnie, and King Fire in November. I will see y'all in November. 70% of the voters. If I was Jasmine, I'm going to tie that Republicans' economy that's helping a lot of rich people. Look, Don Lemon, President Trump's economy helping you. You're a multimillionaire. AOC, a multimillionaire. Jasmine Crockett's a multimillionaire. All these people I just named, them 3 Democrats, are multimillionaires. And his policies are helping them, but they understand that it's not helping the poor, and they care about the poor. How can I not support Jasmine if she care about the poor? Listen to her talk. AOC, she fighting for underprivileged people. President Trump would throw a morsel out there every now. Tax the rich. I got a health care plan. He'll throw a morsel out there for the poor, but where's the policies to help the poor? That's what I'm saying. You guys haven't liked the video, go ahead, double tap the screen, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. It's a Friday, man. You know what I'm saying? Come talk about Jasmine Crockett getting ready for tomorrow. Big debate tomorrow night. Jasmine versus James Talerico. Tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Eastern, we're doing a strategy session. Jasmine for Texas, episode number 5, guys. Y'all haven't liked the video. I appreciate that love. Y'all go ahead, donate to the channel. Y'all want to keep doing, keep rocking it, you know what I'm saying? Or if not, you know what I'm saying, I'm giving y'all the warning. Might come back in, jump on for a couple of minutes, but we're going to get out in just a second. Let's see. Donnie's talking to Titan. He says, also look at ghosts. He thinks fixed rental prices. Hold on. Help people. So no, Donnie, not necessarily. This is what I'm saying. You gotta have, Donnie, you only as strong as the weakest among you. Okay? Government already has programs like Section 8 and other programs with fixed rental prices. You just expand certain programs. How can we afford that? How are we going to pay for that? Oh, yeah, America getting all this money. What you doing with the money? That's the question. What's America doing with the money that it's making off the tariffs? President Trump saying it's pouring in off all these investments. What's America doing with the money? What's Elon doing with all the money he making off of President Trump's policies? Well, it's their money. They could do what they want to. But as human beings, Donnie, as human beings, my argument is that's where I always come from. We have a duty or responsibility to take care of our neighbor. And as much as we despise them homeless people, or much as we despise people who do not have money, those are our neighbors. It comes down to your heart. Some people are selfish. Some people don't care. And they want to make themselves feel good about them being just a selfish, heartless person. You just heartless and selfish. Period. Every time you pass a homeless person, you're not heartless and selfish. But a lot of people are heartless and selfish. That's their problem. You have plenty of people with disabilities. You have plenty of elderly. You have plenty of children. My mama's 70 years old and she disabled. Yeah, tax the rich. I don't care how no one feel. I'm 10 toes down with this. I'm not going to be, you could get more ammo. Ain't nobody believe, I don't believe in going to rob Elon and taking his money. I'm a Christian. I don't believe in that. That's not what Jesus told the Israeli people when he told them to save their extra for 7 years and then give it to the poor. He wasn't talking about robbing. That is just, you got a responsibility to take care of our fellow humans. It's some of us, like Ghost Rider, gonna see them people that's standing by the wayside, and we gonna circle back and help them while all the rich dudes down there, you know what I'm saying, buying prostitutes and doing whatever they doing, snorting their pills and snorting their cocaine and flying their jets. I'm going to go down there and look like what Jesus looked out like when he was down there feeding the poor. That's what ghosts want to do. I want to go down there and look like Jesus, like when he was breaking bread and fish with the poor people. That's what Ghost gonna do. You could do whatever you want to do. Give me $1 million. Half of that is going back to where I got it from. Half of it. With no children. If God gave me $1 million, the Lord Jesus Christ is my witness. Half of that is gonna go back to where I got it from. I don't need no million. I buy my house and really nice cars. I don't need no $1 million. I'm gonna be out there feeding the poor. You ain't gotta tax Ghostwriter. I'm gonna tax myself. Because I'm going to do my duty as a human to look out after my fellow humans. Some of y'all might not be into that. You don't have to be into that. Elon ain't got to be into that. He could be creating wealth, like y'all say. That's him looking out after his fellow human. He got us over 100-some thousand people all across the world that he feeding them by giving them jobs. So Elon ain't got to be into helping the homeless person down at Walmart. You see what I'm saying? That's where I come in at. We just gonna get a little bit of that money and we gonna give it to the poor. We gonna go help. It's gonna help feed them. We gonna help people buy houses. We gonna help everybody have an access to the American dream. And the Republicans never figured that out. And I hope the Democrats can articulate that. Because I've been streaming 2 hours and 10 minutes and ain't a bunch of people in here. But what I'm saying is really important. Because that's a problem. A lot of Americans feel like they don't no longer have access to the American dream. They didn't feel like that during Bill Clinton's days. Because Bill Clinton stimulated the economy from the ground up. He did adopt Republicans' policies. That's why what he did worked, because it was the ultimate centrist. He Democrats and Republicans, he put all of it together. And he had a GDP over 4% over 8 years. That's what I'm saying. You giving rich people tax cuts, that's not going to help nothing. Especially today. He ain't hiring no more. The unemployment rate then went up. It's going to keep going up because of AI. You ain't president. Even if President Trump's policy would have worked, even if giving rich people tax breaks would stimulate the economy, it's not going to do it now this time because of AI. That's what I'm saying. Tax the rich, that's the move. So the Democrats, economic policy, Jasmine's not running for president. It's a different kind of role she's going to be supporting, she's going to be doing. That's what I'm saying. With a senator and a congressperson, to me, it's more, are they lazy? If you call her, will she do something to help you? Do they work for their constituents? That's what I'm saying. It's more about that with a senator and a congressperson, really. But they do write laws and write bills too. So yeah, she need to have some plans to help the people of Texas, definitely. And you're going to hear that tomorrow night. But overall, like, y'all asking me why I support Jasmine, that's why I support it. Titan Bruce says, right, and we need more building or the existing housing values to go up past their true value. Yeah, we do need that, Titan, but you can't say that we don't have a shortage of houses too. You don't say we don't have a young people. That's what I'm saying. When President Trump, Titan Brew and Donnie, when he tapped into that, I'm finna help this segment of the American population, the young people, they went and voted for him. First time ever, Republican. They're saying like, hey, we gonna go vote for, because maybe President Trump could help us get into a house, but that wasn't it. VP Harris was the one who gonna help you get into a house. If you build 3 million housing units, he said he done got $20 trillion in investments. He got a bunch of money to do this. That's according to him. I don't care if he got $4 trillion in investment. $4 trillion, that's almost half of what we collect. That's almost what we collect in taxes every year, $4 trillion. So instead of getting $5 trillion a year in taxes, he got $9 trillion. Bro, listen, that's why the GDP, listen, If you build 3 million more housing units, you know what that's going to do, Donnie and Titan Brew? What the price of houses going to do? What's the cost of renting a house? Listen, if I build 1 million housing apartments all over America, they've done this before, income-based apartments. That means if you make a $1,200 a month, then we going to charge you $100 or $200 in rent. Income-based apartments. You know what that's going to do to the cost of rent? Bro, if you build, it's going to be hard to do it in New York City. You ain't got no space. But I'm saying across America in a lot of places where you could build new. And Donnie, I'm saying, Titan Brew, y'all might have different ideas on how to drive down the cost of rent or drive down the price of new homes. You might have better and good, but I'm saying you got to put them into action, though. And I'm saying we went over that yesterday. President Trump, 25 executive orders. He ain't putting none of this into action. He ain't putting no Republican plan on how to handle the high cost of rent. Ghost can't go rent no apartment if you asking me to pay what for rent? It's too expensive. I'm saying I ain't going to say I haven't. I've taken advantage of every program that there is out there because I haven't taken advantage of any housing programs that they have. I will admit that. I wasn't trying to go out there like that. I was trying to buy a house. You know what I'm saying? But if it came to it, I have to go out there and I'll be on here talking about the housing programs, how they working or not working. What I'm saying under Democrats, usually. And y'all could say their policies don't work. What was President Clinton's GDP? What was President Clinton's unemployment rate? What did the stock markets do under President Clinton? That was some of the wealthiest America ever got. Americans, us get money under Clinton. President Trump promised a golden age. Donnie says, Ghost, fun fact, Ohio houses are only 50,000 and 200,000 because we build houses easily. Don't compare us to, okay, then, Donnie, I can't say nothing about that. What can I say about that, Donnie? What can I say about that? Maybe VP Harris's policies where a lot of them was going to be California, or you say that about New York. But I can't say nothing about it. That's how your feelings about New York. President Trump, he from New York. I know you saying that because you saying that, but I'm just saying, I like New York. I think New York's straight. You could call it that if you want to. I can't see how you say that about New York City, but hey, you from Ohio, you love your state. I'm sure it's nice and peaceful where you live at, and you make $100,000 a year. Life is good for you. And if you're a Republican or you like President Trump, but I don't see how y'all could say that his policies are benefiting people that make less than $100,000 a year. Big President T, he need to do more. I've been saying that for months. You talk about a $2,000 stipend, but I'm saying you losing independence. They peeling off. He losing independents. He losing moderate Republicans. They backing out. They're not seeing his economic plans work. Over 60 to 70%, 64% of the people said the economy is not working for them or it's on the wrong track. That's those people make less than $100,000 a year. We said make less than $50,000 a year. I'm saying less than $100,000 for families. 50,000 for single people and 100,000 for families. You make 50,000 a year as a single man, depending on the state you in. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, man, those are the people who less than, they struggling. Hard time. And that struggle will make them go vote. And I don't see how to benefit any Republicans coming up, y'all. 2 hours and 18 minutes. I love how we come in here, Donnie, Titan Brew, and King Fire. I love how we come in here and we have a very candid conversation. Even when we talking about Jasmine Crockett and the Texas Democratic Senate race. I love how we could come talk about a Texas Democratic Senate race and we can have a great debate about politics, about economics, Republicans and Democrats, President Trump, all of that. I didn't hear none of y'all talk about Governor Abbott because Texas has a surplus in their government and you have a Republican governor. But I'm not going to help y'all litigate no case. You feel me? I'm going to just tell y'all tomorrow at 7 a.m. Eastern time on Saturday. You guys love politics. We're going to come in here. We're going to do a strategy session. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of like we did today. We're going to talk about Jasmine and James Talerico. If you guys love politics, tomorrow night, you have the debate between Jasmine and James Talerico. So I'm sure Donnie and probably Titan Brew, like we all have some sort of interest in this. I believe this is the biggest race. That's not a governor's race. This November, I believe if you see Jasmine take over Texas, the Democrats going to win the Senate. Let me say that one more time for you. If the Republicans cannot hold Texas, they're in trouble. So if Jasmine can win this race in Texas, I believe the Democrats going to take the Senate. I already think they're going to take the House of Representatives, 10 seats. Last time it was 40 seats. I think 10 seats is almost guaranteed unless President Trump work a miracle and he just start helping the poor for 2 or 3 months straight, which I don't foresee that happening. And if that doesn't happen, if you just give a $2,000 stipend and you go out there and just talk to the people, I'm saying like it's going to be more bad that happens as well. That I think last time in 2018, the Democrats won 40 seats, 41 seats. I'm saying this time, I think 10 seats is guaranteed. 10 of them guaranteed. I think if Jasmine wins in Texas, y'all Republicans, that Senate gonna be gone too. That's what's at stakes. So 7 o'clock a.m. tomorrow morning, you know what I'm saying? Jasmine for Texas, that's episode number 5. You know what I'm saying? If y'all know one of Jasmine's staffers, or if you know the queen personally, y'all let her know. You know what I'm saying? And then she have her debate tomorrow night, you know, and we're going to watch that. We're going to keep a good eye on that. We need Jasmine, y'all, to beat James Talerico. Has to happen. I think if she wins that, which that Democratic primary, this is a perfect time. She's doing what she needs to be doing. She reaching out to independent and swing voters. I've seen her personally. So what Ghost said is being followed. But although she reaching out to independents and swing voters, at the same time, she firing up her base. She doing everything she needs to be doing right now. Jasmine's doing everything she needs to be doing to win that race. I think if she stays solid for 30 days, tomorrow we're going to really talk about her positioning in the debate, what to look for, and talking about if she win or lost. You know what I'm saying? On a regular Cruising with Ghostwriter, we're going to end up talking about that debate, the results of it. But what I'm saying on episode 6 of Jasmine of Texas, we're going to keep laying out strategy for 30 more days. If she runs strong for 30 more days, I think that gap between her and Talerico is because she's winning amongst Democrats. So even if you have an influx of Republicans or independents show up, she run the numbers up on Talerico so hard, it's not going to help y'all. So Jasmine, man, for Texas, that's why Titan Brew and Donnie, I was happy I was able to tell y'all why I believed in her policy, why I supported her. Y'all feel that? Not just because she a new candidate. She is the new candidate, but that's not why I support her. Or you know what I'm saying? Her economic policies, I'm more aligned with the economic policies she got. Y'all hear me say that about Bernie taxing the rich all the time. Y'all hear me say that. I agree with their economic policies more. I'm more aligned with them economically. And I think that's what affects economic policies American more than any other issue or agenda. Like I said, as a Christian, if I felt like she had the power or authority tomorrow to pass a law that would create 1,000 more transgenders in America, then you could convince me to vote against her stance on transgenders. But her stance on transgenders is not going to make one more person become a transgender in Texas. It's not going to become one more person become gay. And her stance with APEC, even though she don't get no money from APEC or take none, according to my regulation, but that's not going to matter in the state of Texas with the voters. I could promise you. There's not enough progressive voters in Texas to make that matter. Texas ain't Cali. You see what I'm saying? That being said, y'all, tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Eastern, you guys know I am a Christian. I believe Jesus suffered, bled, and died on the cross for our sins, and he was resurrected the third day. I believe the Bible says, whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. I believe you call upon the name of the Lord through prayer. I believe if you pray and you ask God for forgiveness, you repent for your sins. You let them know you accept Jesus' death on the cross was a payment. Jesus paid the pardon for our sins. Jesus was our pardon. It's like with God, just say if you go to jail and you get a pardon for President Trump, that means he let you go free. He wiped that off your... What I'm saying with Jesus paid our pardon. Because Jesus died for us, we could go free. All you got to do is ask him for forgiveness and accept the sacrifice, believe he saved you, and then you're going to follow him. You're going to live how he lived. Simple as that, man. You know what I'm saying? Christ is king. I believe Jesus, us accepting the life or us accepting, how I'm going to say, living the life that Jesus taught us to live, I believe will make the world a much better place. I really believe that. You know what I'm saying? I believe that with my whole heart. I believe that's the key to making life better and making the world better, is living the way that Jesus told us to live. I believe that with my whole heart. Y'all, that's my time, man. Titan Brew, man. I appreciate you stopping in, tapping in, checking in. I appreciate your loyalty. Donnie as well, man. Donnie, my big general, man. He be coming in here. He big Republican, but we be having these conversations, man, every single day, man. You know what I'm saying? Very intelligent conversations, debates about the future of this country that we love. We all just got to learn to love one another and to accept one another. You see what I'm saying? We got to learn to accept each other's differences. That's key to the unity of our nation. That is key. You know what I'm saying? Guys, that's my time, man. I love y'all. Every day I wake up, man, the very first thing I say, man, is this is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. I hope you guys rejoice. You guys be glad in your day. Tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Eastern, we're going to get to some strategy. We're going to prepare for that debate. And I'm going to tell you why Jasmine Crockett need to come out swinging on James Talerico. She got to let these voters know that she the boss. She the big dog. She not running from behind in no Democratic Party. She's the front runner and she the boss. You see what I'm saying? I know that Emerson poll should fire up all of her supporters to get out there seeing her down like that. No, that's wrong. That poll is wrong. It's a false representation of how the Democratic Party feels, the Democratic electorate feels in the state of Texas. So tomorrow, 7 a.m. Eastern, man. Jasmine for Texas. Donnie, y'all. Titan Brew, man. That's our candidate. Our candidate. Our voice. Our future. If she didn't listen to our voices, Donnie, she listens to our voice. You don't believe me? Just go back and watch Legal Wars live streams and go back and watch her content and tell me she not listening to our voices. You can't gaslight me, baby. She listening to our voices. If she listens to our voices right now, you know if she got elected, she gonna listen to our voices. Yeah, our candidate our future. Baby girl, keep listening to the voices. And come time April come and that we get ready for that general, she need to go and drop in that email on my cell phone, put me on the payroll. Yeah, that's my time, man. I love y'all. Big Ghost Rider. See y'all in the morning.